Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. There we go. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I told you I'd be on earlier, but this is as best I could do. But I was hoping for the AM for me, but it didn't work out. But who cares? We're here now, and that's all that matters. Let me do a sound check and make sure that you guys can hear me okay. I think that is good. All right, excellent. All right, so let me say hello to a few people. Connie Balmer. Hi, Connie Balmer. Hello to Jan Martin, Patricia Smith, Veronica Quick, Reba Henderson, Janice Goodrich. Hello to Lydia Washington. Lottie, it's been a minute, right? Deborah Anderson is here. Carol Rennie. Christian Diamond is here. Or is that Demand? Okay. And Rosanna Smith, that's who's here. Rosanna Smith. Also, there is Nancy Austin. 1960 is here. Okay. And Recitas, Consitas. That rhymes. All right. And Maria Jacobs is here. Movo. Hey, Movo. And who else? Judy Rigold is here. Jan Martin. Did I say Patricia Smith? I think so. Anyway, so happy Thanksgiving. I hope everything is going well so far for everyone. Okay, sorry about that. I just stepped away from the microphone, but I'm back. Okay, so I am trusting that there is a fine Thanksgiving dinner going on at the stately, palatial, opulent, and yet very picturesque Sussex Manor. And of course, one thing about the stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque Sussex Manor in Montecito, where there are no leaks, we probably won't get any photos, but one could hope. But that's not likely to happen. But I'm going to imagine that Doria is working some magic along with our Duchess. I'm pretty sure that they're going to make this a very special Thanksgiving dinner for Prince Harry, seeing that some big things are coming up for Harry, like, for instance, his book. All right, so there's a few things coming down the pike for the Sussexes. So I hope there is a happy Thanksgiving for one and all over at the Sussex household. Also, I'm going to wish a happy Thanksgiving in your household. And for those of you that are not from the United States, well, there's several versions of Thanksgiving, but I like to believe the one where there was peace and harmony before the genocide. That's the one that I choose to focus on. All right, so there you have it. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. And I will. That's it for today's Royal Sussex. That's it. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. And oh man, no, I'm just kidding. We'll be here for a minute. Hello, Sonia Green, 1998 champions. Was that Chicago Bulls? Hello, Marshar. Welcome. Now that's a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Shane W. Thank you. And I'm sorry, Sini. Oh my goodness. I had this. But anyway, thank you so much for the super sticker and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And thank you so much for being here. And more importantly, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. All right. And Patty is here. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. I got my other window open so I can see what you all are, uh, just in case we have some monthly. Okay, I got that. All right, perfect. And let me just say this, there's a big room for Thanksgiving. In case you missed this, a huge success. Since it launched, Megan's podcast has been among the top 3 or 4 most followed in the world. It talks about a topic that I believe interests many women, namely to be labeled a certain archetype. So, Don Ostroff, Chief Content Officer at Spotify, had this to say about the archetypes. So, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of those derangers and such that love to try to say, "Oh, but it's not number one anymore." Let me say that for quite some time there was the Joe Rogan in the top position, and out of all the material on the Spotify, out of all of the podcasts that's out there, it took the Duchess of Sussex to knock him off his throne, if only for a short period of time. It was the archetypes that did that. So um, there is nothing, and I do mean nothing, that anybody should have to explain about archetypes. Being one of the top 3 or 4 most followed in the world on such a large platform is epic. So again, I think it's a win-win for the Duchess of Sussex, and it is a big win for Spotify. Spotify has actually made a lot of money since the Duchess of Sussex first released the Archetypes. Like, if you look right here, Spotify hits 195 million paid subscribers, exceeds monthly active user expectations. And this is from the CEO, Danielle Eck, said Spotify would consider raising prices in the light of hikes at Apple Music, which, of course, there's the Apple streaming service too, the Apple podcast. So, yeah, there you have it. Music streaming giant Spotify report 195 million paid subscribers. So they're at an all-time high. In the third quarter of 2022, up from 188 million paid or premium subscribers in the previous quarter and above expectations, the company had forecast it would hit 194 million premium subscribers this quarter. Spotify also exceeded its monthly active user expectation, reaching 456 million monthly active users in the third quarter, above the forecast of 450 million. In the second quarter, monthly active users hit 433 million, up from 422 million in previous quarters. The company now says it has 4.7 million podcasts. That's 4.7 million podcasts that you can choose from. At the end of June, Spotify had 4.4 million. So they're up 3 million podcasts since June on the platform, up 4 million at the end of March. New additions this quarter include the launch of Meghan Markle's podcast Archetypes. The revenue came in at 3.04 billion compared to a forecast of 3.0 billion. So that's about $400 million more than they were expecting, right? So that was their forecast, was 3.4 billion. So they came in at a whopping 3 point, I think that's 400 million additional in revenue. So there you have it. It's a win-win. The impact of the Duchess of Sussex on the archetypes is more than sufficient for us to celebrate. So, whatever the haters and the naysayers and all those people have to say, pay them no attention. Um, our Duchess has delivered on her obligation to Spotify. And just remember, she's just getting started. This is like a chance for them to work out all of their, I guess, strategies, right? They have a team of people that are doing the audio, that are interviewing potential guests. There's also segments that are recorded where the Duchess, it may not be present, and those are the very short segments. And then there are some where she is absolutely present. Plus, there's the main people that she's interviewing herself. So there's a lot that's going into this, and the payback is huge. So it is a win-win. Okay, hello, Karen M, Elizabeth Daniels, Susie Q. All right. Elizabeth Daniels, I don't know if you're a fan of Keeping Up Appearances, but one of my favorite things was when Hyacinth would say, "Oh, Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth." Of course, when she would break her Royal Dalton china with hand painted periwinkles. Oh, Elizabeth. Mind the road, Richard. Okay. Uh, Dorothy Ross, happy Thanksgiving, Dorothy Ross. Happy Thanksgiving. Verta Sanchez. Hi, Verta Sanchez. DIY, do it yourself, diva. Verta Sanchez. Welcome. Claire Cadore. Welcome. Julia Rock. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. So, once again, just to refresh, Spotify is a huge success, according to the chief content officer, according to the CEO, Daniel Eck. And of course, we all know ourselves because we have been following along that Big Mama, hey, Big Mama, happy Thanksgiving. And Shelly L, happy Thanksgiving. Pam Porter, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, very cool. I feel like the whole family is here. And there you can see right there, most popular, let me see, the most popular society and culture podcast. Okay, I think that thing was scrolling, so that's why the first letters is missing where it says Hemos is really the most popular society and culture podcast. Archetypes, number one for society and culture podcasts. So that, of course, is an achievement. Remember, I believe he said there was 4.6 million podcasts. So I do believe that that figure of 4.6 million, those are how many individual podcasts there are available on Spotify. And the very top of the society and culture is Archetypes. Win win. All right, so moving on. And of course, remember the guests from the last show. And I'm embarrassed, I can't remember her name again. But we got the Duchess of Sussex. We also have, oh, wait, nobody help me. J. Michaela J. All right. And there's Amanda Gorman and the lady from Sex in the City. Nobody help me. Maureen Reed, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks, Baron, for your dedication to our favorites. I just finished cooking New York turkey wings. Wow, I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious. Um, and oxtails. Oh, love oxtails. Jamaican born and US bred, I have to include oxtails. Oh my goodness, what I wouldn't do for a good oxtail right now. I need to get that crock pot down. You know, I uh when I first started cooking oxtails, I was at the disadvantage because I didn't know that at one time oxtails were just kind of like the cheapest thing you could buy. And then of course, once it became a delicacy, now they say the price is so high for oxtails. So oh man, anytime you can have those, it's a blessing. Thank you so much, Maureen Reed, and thank you so much for being a member and for watching Royal Sussex, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, this is so cool. I'm just like feeling like the whole family is here. All right. So, I think that no, actually some squatty did this, of course. You know how we are in the squad, but yeah, someone in the Twitter sphere in the on those Twitter streets thought that this would be kind of funny, and it is. And one of the things I noticed too is that there seems to be less hair extensions. I believe that's obviously an old photo, but there seems to be less hair extensions. So I tell you what, if she doesn't have as many extensions, it really projects that face out at you. So I'm gonna give her a free pass and say, "You know what? Have as many extensions as you like." I feel like one of those children of color when the Cambridges come to visit and Kate puts her face all up in their face. Now I can kinda see things from their perspective. She's got a big face. A big face. Those poor kids, what they must go through. You don't really realize it, and then I saw this and I'm like, "Yeah, she's got a big face." Okay, so, I'm sorry, moving right along. Right here, I have to share this with you guys. I thought this was so touching. After a massive victory over Germany to start their World Cup, Japanese fans stayed to clean up trash from the stands, an act of respect they've also carried out at previous tournaments. And look at the locker room on the right side. Japanese players also carried out the same show of respect in the locker room there. You see that? Well, they say dressing room, but it's spotless. You could do surgery in there. Look at that. Could you imagine some of the American or European teams, or any teams for that matter, leaving things that clean? Could you imagine the fans actually leaving everything that clean? That's unheard of. And take a look at this. This is not the first time. As I said, Japan's changing room following defeat to Belgium in 2018. Look at that place. Is that an OR? Is that some electronic clean room with filters and paper jumpsuits and dust particle filters? No, that's a real FIFA locker room. It's unbelievable. Joan Commonwealth, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Recitas Concitas says Japanese are used to cleaning up after themselves since they clean their schools starting in elementary. Wow. You know what? I did not know that, but I do recall during the tsunami how when the kids were in these shelters, they actually um, were recycling everything. They cleaned up behind themselves. What a lovely thing to instill in your children. Now, yeah, that's we should do that here. We should do that here. Um, let's skip the Pledge of Allegiance and let's make them clean. Oh man, some people are not. Do they still do that? I remember we had to do it, and I remember that one person in school that their parents said that they did not like that for their kids, and so there was always that one or two children in class that did not have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And that was something that started from a poem from a school teacher. I forgot the exact story behind that, but the whole Pledge of Allegiance thing did not really evolve the way people thought it would. Just like the national anthem being played at sports events, they only started doing that as a way to recruit soldiers during the war. That wasn't always a thing. So, okay. Uh, okay, you're going to have to re listen later. Okay, thank you so much, Gwendolyn Daniels, for stopping by to say hello. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, Joanna A says Bob Dole and the likes wanted to do this in America, but only to poor children in poor school districts. Ain't that like a Republican? Yes, Nancy Austin says all over the world, Baron, we should learn from this to clean up. Amen. All right. So, on the shadier side of things, an estimated 40%. Now, I don't know how accurate this is. I'm just sharing it with you. An estimated 40% of all gold ever mined on Earth came from a single plateau in South Africa. I repeat, 40% of all gold ever mined on Earth came from a single plateau in South Africa. Imagine taking away, stealing such costly amount of gold from the very country it was found from and calling the people of that country poor. The massive deposits of Witwatersrand mines in South Africa have produced more than 40% of the world's total production of gold. Now, one thing that I do know for sure is that I've always heard that South Africa was mineral rich. Mineral rich. South Africa, if South Africans were able to truly profit from the materials that are being removed, th- there wouldn't be any poverty in South Africa, or there would be very little of it. South Africa is one of the most mineral rich countries in the world. Diamonds, gold, and other precious materials can be found in South Africa. And a lot of that gold, as you can see, the Queen has taken an inspection of the vaults of gold. I believe that is the Bank of England, perhaps. But is a vault filled with gold bullion. And I don't know what the purpose was, but I do remember some time ago when the Queen was either asked to take the tour or she requested that tour of the gold in London. And also, there's a lot of gold in Fort Knox in the United States, but there's also a lot of gold in the Federal Reserve banks across the United States. So, um, of course, the gold is highly precious nowadays because gold is one of the best conductors of the electronic signals that we use in our smartphones and computers and such. So there's some things that you just can't do better than using gold. So for more reasons, gold has become indispensable in the electronic industry. Very much in demand. Marcy Foreman, we're going to get to that, of course. Let me see. Connie Balmer says, I believe it, Baron, a lot of gold is from there. That's why whites refuse to go away. They ain't leaving, huh? That's why I love that. That's why they refuse to go away. Let me see. Okay. All right. Miss S, happy Thanksgiving, Miss S. Blessings to my extended family. That's you, my pod family. Thanking God for life and health, wishing everyone nothing but good vibes on this Thanksgiving Day. Miss S, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. God bless you too. Thank you so much. All right. So, right here, now this is where it gets kind of tacky. President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, King Charles III, and Queen and Camilla, Queen Consort, during the state banquet at Buckingham Palace. King Charles the First state banquet. Uh, I'm sorry, let me do that again. King Charles's first state banquet menu includes Windsor pheasant, brill, and 75 pounds of bottled port. Charles welcomed South African President Cyril, that name again, earlier today in another milestone for the new monarch. Tonight's guests will feast on a lavish menu that also includes brill and braised fondant potatoes. Ooh, I made those fondant potatoes before. They are so good. I need to make some more of those. If you guys haven't had fondant potatoes, oh, they're so good. They're crispy on the top, they're flaky in the middle, and creamy on the bottom. Oh, I hate to make it sound so pornographic, but they are delicious. Imagine that crust. Oh, let me stop. Legs has a super chat. Didn't he have to ride the bus during the funeral? I recall that he, along with all the other South African leaders, save for, what was it, the president of Ethiopia, or was it prime minister? She was like, not I. She said, I have all the protocols necessary to travel in a dignified manner like someone of my station, and I'm not getting on the bus. Otherwise, I'm not going. Mother hospitalized with malnutrition after eating one meal a day so children don't starve. Kelly Thompson, Thomas, is it Thomas? Oh, wow. Thomson, Thomas, lives on 40 pounds per week to feed herself and her two children. And like many in the cost of living crisis, is struggling. Now, how dare they? How dare they um, celebrate this lavish banquet while so many people are going hungry? That is absolutely insane. During this period of time when people are afraid, how could you have a banquet like this? That is insane. And of course, it hasn't escaped people's notice. Like, for instance, I follow a Twitter uh, page called The Republic, and they say we spend more than 345 million pounds a year on the monarchy and give private income of more than 22 million pounds to each, 22 million pounds each to Charles and William. And that is just outrageous. They love to say that the monarchy only cost about 109 million pounds now. But the truth is, it costs so much more, especially when you consider security. And not only are they securing the individuals, but they're securing the individual properties even when they're not around. They're spending all this money to maintain that family while people are going hungry. A mother hospitalized so that her children can eat, and they don't see any conflict. Wow. Connie has something for us to think about. Most of the electronics from our mobiles are from Congo. It was all in our trusted papers. So our old and broken mobiles are repaired and sent to Africa. Well, I did see that some time ago where they have these burn pits filled with old electronics and all kind of computers and tablets and phones end up there, and you have to melt the plastics and stuff away. It's very toxic work, but the minerals do go back to Africa. But when they go back, they bring all kind of carcinogens with it. And don't even get me started on the child labor that is used to mine some of these materials. That is also going on in the Congo. So let me see. Oh, we can find education today. Thank you so much, Connie Balmer. Daphne Lamini says Cameroon provides the food, iron, wood to France, and don't for they girls. And don't forget, I think that is that the girls are purse. That is why they will never let go of the invisible chains they have in the African empire. Yeah, France is still an empire. France is still calling shots in all of the French speaking nations in which they were involved with a long time ago. And so don't be fooled that everything is so progressive with France because they still see themselves as an empire. They still um, well, let me put it to you like this. The French economy is still huge. And that is not an economy that is just built on tourism. That is an economy that is built on the raw materials that they have been extracting from Africa for decades. So, Daphne, thank you so much. That is, I agree with that 100%. They are still doing as they've always done. And those puppet governments that they have in place are just that puppets. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Miranda Rios. I heard about that. I heard about that. That is so sad. The choices that people are making, but the important thing is King Charles' first state banquet menu includes Windsor pheasant brill and 75-pound a bottle port. That's what's important. We have to ignore hunger pains. We have to ignore the food banks and concentrate on that banquet that upholds the image of the South African president, that helps to bolster his image at home, that he had dinner with the colonizer. Do I sound kind of militant that he still had dinner with those colonizers? Neiman Marcus, not my king. Okay, teachers reveal scale of pupils' hunger as 100,000 frozen out of free school meals. This was in The Guardian not long ago. The UK needs to stop funding the royals. It's a waste. Let's feed our children instead. And you can see right there it says, not my Prince of Wales, not my Princess of Wales, and of course, hashtag racist royal family. And as always, not my king. Now, okay, I am going to be very fair and say that I do believe someone actually manipulated these photos. I don't think that that's actually Kate's smile. I only just found out that most of the editing software nowadays. And so the only reason why I want to show you this is because number one, I think it's funny as you know what. And number two, it also is a reminder that whenever you see those photos of Princess Meghan, where they have, you know, fiddled around with her appearance, and one of those photos of Meghan actually made it into one of the tabloid newspapers. But there is a way to manipulate things using software. And so that big, you know what, eating grin that you see is not real. But I have to say to the children that are forced to see that big face up in their face, it's probably realer than you could imagine. So, um, oh man. Okay, so let us do a happy Thanksgiving break. Here comes the Messi. All right, the Messi is coming, but not just yet. But since we have more people here, let me say happy Thanksgiving. Um, Also, there has been a trend where some of the farm animals have decided to, pretend like there's someone else. So you can see this particular turkey pulled out the good old Groucho Marx glasses because, well, he doesn't want to be eaten. And of course, it should heal itself in a few weeks. Just for fun, would you like to make a wish? Oh man. I wait every year so I can do these over and over again. Sources close to the investigation say the victim was found in a pool of his own gravy. A pool of his own gravy? Okay, wait, you guys, just wait. It gets worse. Um, I'm with Delicious. I'm with Delicious. Get it? I'm with Delicious. Okay, not so much, huh? All right, all right. How about this one? Moo, 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 moo. Get it? Moo. They're pretending to be a cow. They're pretending to be cows so that the farmer with poor eyesight won't eat them. They're pretending to be a cow. No, a cow? Moo. Oh, man. Well, how about this one? You'll never take me alive. No? Too much? Too soon? Too soon. Okay. Or, okay, my favorite part of Thanksgiving every year is that I run that video over and over again of, Paula Dean getting hit in the snout with the ham. Ronnie, I think Ronnie was on here, right? Ronnie Vanna, this is like one of her favorite parts of Thanksgiving is seeing that video over and over again of Miss Paula Dean being hit in the snout with a ham. Oh man, I have to tell you, that is my favorite Thanksgiving tradition is watching Paula Dean take it on the snout with that ham. And of course, um, Paula Dean herself, she thought it funnier than anybody. She said, "I ran." What? Let me see if I have that audio of her saying that. Oh man. Well, she zigged when she. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Oh my goodness, you could barely hear it. Never mind. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, you could barely hear it. Never mind. But yeah, it was Paula Dean saying that she ran red. She said she ran head on into a hog. Her words, not mine. But yeah, so that's one of my favorite parts of Thanksgiving. The lady who asked the staff at her restaurant to dress in plantation clothing, Paula Dean, that Paula Dean. Stephanie Holmes, thank you so much for the Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving super chat. And thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so moving on. Um, the turkey said eat ham, but I don't think he meant for people to throw it at Paula Dean's face. But let me say that the turkey was showing respect to the ham for taking out the hog. And what about that time the turkey went to the doctor and he said, "We found cornbread, celery, and onions." And that, of course, is because Tim gets results of his cavityoscopy. Okay, let's go back to this then. Look how white Megan's skin color looks. Angela Levin actually said that. Angela Levin tweeted, "Look at how white Megan's skin color looks." Now, the photo on the left is the image that Angela Levin was referring to. The one on the right side is a photo from that event that I had for, since the event happened. That photo is untouched. I didn't do anything to it. I even went back to verify that this photo was not edited. So when they posted the image, that is how dark Megan appears. That is how dark Harry appears, right? So it's very inconsistent whether or not a photo is darker or lighter. So Megan didn't do anything to her skin. I don't know what Angela Levin was implying that Megan had done to her skin, but there is some implication there. I dare not say what it is. However, the implication was made. Here are some more photos from that day. Again, I made sure that I have not edited these photos. These are photos that I saved from that event, and I forget which event it was, but that is Megan untouched. If there was any lightning or variations in the lighting, that was done either naturally from wherever she was standing, looks like they're beneath a tent, maybe, or whatever. I don't know. I cannot say what the difference is. More images from that day. The one on the right looks lighter, the one on the and this is something that the subjects in the photo, they have no control over this. So when Angela Levin says, "Look at how light her skin is," what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What are you implying is the reason for Megan's appearance? She's just showing up at the event. And at the time, she was still a working royal. Again, this is another one. I've done nothing to the photo. I don't know why it looks that way, but it just does. And then this is Meghan and Harry side by side. Again, these are the way they posted the photos. One, Harry and Meghan are a little lighter. The other one, they're a little darker. There seems to be like a reddish tone to the photo. And at first I thought, well, maybe since I put the red background, maybe that's why. But you can see here, even with the blue background, it doesn't make much of a difference. It still looks however it was posted. When is it okay to talk about someone's skin color? Legs, I would say never, especially for someone whose ethics are as questionable as Angela Levin. Angela Levin likes to push some of those conspiracies about the Sussexes. She definitely has followed and has been followed by some of the hate accounts, some of the accounts that were taken down because of the single purpose hate against the Sussexes. Those are the people that Angela has followed, or in some cases, continue to follow. And so it's no wonder that Angela, and you know what? She probably didn't even think of that on her own. She probably saw it somewhere, agreed with it, and decided to promote the um, conspiracy. So anyway, thank you, Lex, for the super chat. Now, Um, I mean, is it okay for me to say Angela is a living troll doll, Levin? A horrible person? See what I mean? I made that comparison some time ago. Now, I think that is more accurate, my description of Angela, as opposed to her trying to promote this, farce about Megan's skin being light, in which I think she's implying something there, but I can't prove it. By the way, Dorothy Ross, thank you for 10 months of membership at Royal Sussex. And thank you so much for being here today. Greatly appreciated. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So, yeah, I can't prove that Angela Levin is a troll doll. I can only put them side by side in very similar, very graphic, horrific floral print outfits and say she could be a troll doll. I mean, she's got the nose, she got those little muskrat eyes, she's got the three fingers and one thumb on each hand. She's probably a troll doll, but I can't prove it. So you don't see me going around. Well, yeah, I did declare it. And the other thing is agent of disinformation. This has been a moniker that she's had for quite some time. She has been labeled an agent of disinformation. And so far, I don't see any parts of that is not true. And also, let me show you how light can play with a person. Look at Angela Levin next in this photo, and look at Angela Levin's necks in that photo. Sometimes she has two necks, sometimes she has three. Sometimes she has two necks, sometimes she has three. Now, I would be rude if I started some theory saying that Angela Levin is capable of growing another neck. If I don't know that to be true, it's probably based on the lighting conditions and how she's photographed. Is the light above her? Is the light next to her? Is her necks multiplying? I don't know. But I do know that sometimes she is nice enough to cover her necks, apostrophe, plural, necks. Next, I mean next. I meant next. Next. Y'all know what I mean. Oh, Shelly L, thank you so much for the super chat. That's because she's not covered in liver spots like the old raisin. She just mad she's aging like a dog in dog years. Princess Megan, I really can't stand that woman. Angela Levin, nobody can stand her. Her mama couldn't stand her. Her mama couldn't stand her. I mean, who wakes up and just tweet something out of the blue like, look how white Megan's skin color looks. It's because she's a Hollywood actress and she's used to having her way. So if she wants to look lighter, she knows how to look lighter because she's a Hollywood actress. That's what she was feeling today. As a matter of fact, the first place I saw this mentioned was on Christopher Ballsy. I'm like, all right, it must be real. And so, of course, to verify, I went to Angela's page, and sure enough, she did tweet that herself. So the hate never stops. Anyway, thank you so much, Shelly Ellen. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Thanksgiving to you. All right, Leg says, time to throw them out. In banana years, time to throw them out. Oh yeah. Well, okay. Let me see. Oh, sorry. There we go. Now, Angela has been known to stretch the truth. Again, the lighting conditions, sometimes the lighting makes Angela look old and withered, and sometimes it shows how her nose is growing. But again, at least sometimes she knows to cover her necks, plural. Okay. Uh-oh, I did that again. Where am I at here? There we go. Naomi Maria says, Angela Levin, horrible, nasty, vile gremlin. How could this old fossil be so jealous of beautiful Megan? That's why. Because Angela believes that she deserves the life that Megan has. She can I think most of them just cannot stomach the fact that Megan is in this position of authority, that people actually listens to her, not only because she's a princess of the realm, but mostly because for years Megan has done all of the work in terms of philanthropy, volunteering, humanity work. Megan has done that work and she's being recognized for it. But most of those royal reporters and authors, they don't have the ability to make a place in the world for themselves like that. They have hate in their hearts. We all know that hate seems to sell, especially to a certain demographic, like the MAGA women, or the Brexit women. So those are the people that she caters to. I spent a year and a quarter with him, so I know him very well. Um, Omid Scobie had had enough of it, so he called out Angela and he said, I'll share what Kensington Palace officials told me at the time. Through Newsweek, Angela Levin was given access to official engagements and chat with Harry for a 2017 cover. Then, without permission, she turned that material into a book. Harry was crushed and his team were furious. Angela Levin has been writing that sit down interview, that chat, if you will. She had access to Harry for just a few minutes. And other than that, she was allowed to tag along on official engagements. Now, one thing that Harry is very disciplined about, and that is if he don't want to talk to people, he's not going to talk to them. And the people that followed him around for those engagements, for the most part, Harry very much stayed away from them, especially the likes of Angela Levin. And so they love to pretend like Harry ignored the fact that these are reporters that eventually will turn on you. They love to believe that Harry is so dense that he didn't realize that these are the same people that have either lied about his mother or have known his mother and made her life a living hell. So he kept a professional distance. But in order to complete the magazine article, he had a sit down with her for a few minutes. And that was enough for her to make this claim that she knows him very well. That would be like saying that you know your coworker. um, yes, we work with people for years, and yet when they have something that puts them on the news or the FBI is looking for them, the first thing we say is, well, he was always kind of strange, but he seemed kind of aloof, or we never really know people that we work with. It's not as intimate as being their friends or even living under the roof with them. But she's making this claim that she's the official Prince Harry biographer. And she's been earning money from that claim for years now. Like, for instance, what if I claim that she's the love child of Mr. Magoo? That doesn't make it right. I don't know that her mama and Mr. Magoo might have met somewhere in the past. maybe had a few cocktails or something. I don't know that, but I do know she is the very spitting image of Mr. Magoo. She even wears glasses like Mr. Magoo. So, uh, she even sees variations in people's skin tone that isn't even there, like the Mr. Magoo. So, I can't really justify saying that I know for certain that Angela Levin is the offspring of Mr. Magoo. I don't know that for certain, but I look at her and I see Magoo. Every time I glance at her, the first thing I think of is Mr. Flippin' Magoo. So they even have that same whiny voice that seems so in line with each other. So Mr. Magoo, Mrs. Magoo, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Don't know. One way or the other, Mr. Magoo, Mrs. Magoo, who knows for certain? All right. And then of course, Agatha Christie writing her next novel. Would it be unjust to me to refer to her as Agatha Christie? Now, that's not actually her name, but she looks like Agatha Christie to me. Yes, instead of Agatha Christie, ladies and gentlemen, meet the new writer. See, Angela Levin is her pen name. Her real name is Agatha Christie. Oh man, they've also always considered us second class citizens undeserving of any advancement that would place us above them. Now that is manifested in Megan. They're pissed because Megan is amazing, not them. Shelly L. Megan is not supposed to be there because being a woman of color, and as they have pointed out, having that blood of slaves coursing through her veins, the idea that someone with that ancestry could come into the hallowed halls of Windsor and outdo them every step of the way is more than they can bear. They can't take it. That is why they are so troubled by this, because this pretense of being superior in every way just does not exist. And that bothers them. So, yeah, you're right. They've always considered us second class citizens and always have approached people of African descent like they're children. That is how the aristocrats function. The people that feel they are aristocratic are looking down their nose at people of color. And when they went to India, they could not defeat all of India. So instead, they created the rivalries between this Maharaja and that kingdom, and they created a lot of animosities. It was like the same playbook that they used every place else, but the numbers were so vast. And so while they were playing them against each other and looking down their noses as though if they're Indian, they must be inferior. But gosh, they got a lot of golds, and I kind of fancy that Kohinoor diamond. That is the way that the East India Company function in India. That is the way that South Africa functioned in South Africa. They look down their noses as though these people with melanin were inferior. And that's why it bothers them, because after building an empire based on this premise of superiority, not just over anyone that is a person of color, if I recall, they felt the same way about the Irish. They felt the same way about the Irish. This is why there's so much bad blood between the English aristocracy and the Irish. And unfortunately, a lot of poor people in England, a lot of working class people, they believe this superiority, not just with people of color, but even with the Irish, which is, you know, even that even continues today with Eastern Europeans in England. The people from Bosnia or from Romania, they look down their noses at them and they encourage the, you know, British born people, especially if they're white, to see them as inferior. So that type of propaganda is very effective. And it's the reason why they were able to conquer so many civilizations, is that they would play one social group or one tribe against the other, or one religion against the other, and create this superiority complex within the society. And next thing you know, everybody's fighting. And of course, they are ripping all of the wealth out of those countries. And so that's why it's such a shame to see the president of South Africa whining and dining with the king of the colonizers. Thank you so much, Shelley, for that very thought provoking statement. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Let me see here. Lola Falana hair again. I have nothing to say about her, but I just, I was coming through the Twitter, and I'm just like, it looks like she's got two wigs stapled together. Two wigs stapled or sewn together. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop. And of course, Angela loves to take pictures with black people. For somebody who loses sleep over black people, you never seen anybody go through so much trouble to find her way into a photo with them. I mean, she literally pushes in, except for with Nana. She doesn't have to do that because she and Nana have become like the ultimate double act. Revealed how Prince Charles told Meghan not to wear a lavish tiara at her first overseas state dinner because she would look extravagant on the same night Kate dazzled in diamonds. Now, what really made me particularly sad about this and also very angry is the fact that the diamonds that they loaned to Meghan to wear to that banquet or state dinner function on the Oceania tour, then of course they started leaking information about the origins of those diamonds. Do you guys remember that? Of course you do. They even had a photo where they, or was it the article where they were saying something about the diamonds dripping with blood? Well, if anybody should know anything about blood diamonds, I would say it's probably that family. And so Megan, um, unaware of the history of the diamonds, which were a gift to the queen for their wedding, um, they loan those diamonds to Megan. She doesn't even own those diamonds. They're on loan from the royal collection. And so they, on the one hand, celebrate the English rose for looking so appealing and so illuminating in this tiara that her family did not buy. That too is on loan from the royal collection. While at the same time, they're uplifting her from wearing all of these blood diamonds and pearls and jewels. They say nothing about its origins. But for Megan, they decide to go on this campaign. They waged this campaign to make it seem as though she demanded that they go to the royal collection and find the diamonds with the most dreadful, awful past that they could find, as if she would know the difference one way or the other. Um, but that's how that family works. They had it in for Meghan from the start. They really did. And when they thought it was safe to do so, that is when they decided to unleash hell. And along with those phone calls coming from inside of the house, they decided it was time to make Megan's life as miserable as possible. And using those diamonds that were gifted from somebody she doesn't even know, gifted to the royal collection, they loan them to her. They tell her, "Oh, don't wear the tiara. Don't wear the tiara. Here, wear these." How sinister could you be? How sinister can any individual be that at a moment when Meghan is working in service of the crown, Meghan made the pledge to the Queen to do the work. And she's continued to do the work that she's doing away from the royal family with as much dignity and class as possible. But yet, the family that was supposed to love her, according to Prince Charles, or I'm sorry, King Charles, the family that was supposed to protect her, as they told Harry they would, the whole time they were plotting against her. One plot after the other, with those phone calls coming from inside the house. The phone calls were coming from inside the house. If there's any evidence that anybody needs as to how awful and nasty and sinister that family is, I would say the best proof of that is simply by remembering this headline. And I believe it to be true. I'm not even going to question it. I believe it to be true because any details about those diamonds were leaked from the royal family. It's stuff we would not have known had it not come from the royal family. What an evil bunch of people. And Harry must have felt incredibly betrayed by this event. Could you imagine how awful Harry must have felt when it settled in to everyone involved exactly how awful that family is? That had to be sobering. But they found out. They found out um, that the family that is supposed to be supporting them is working very hard against them. They promised Harry that they were not going to let terrible things happen. And to date, the way Elton John spoke out about Harry and Meghan when the press criticized them, there hasn't been one statement from that family to lend any type of support or protection to the Sussexes or even their children. Not one time. Not from the Queen, not from Charles, from none of them. And then, of course, those bony, gnarly, skeletal like hands reaching out to touch this child who doesn't know what to make of it. When people show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou um, said that. Camilla, you are no Diana, definitely. Look at how she is reaching those bony hands out to touch this child, to touch some child that she don't know. All of the kids seem terrified. None of them are looking directly at her. They don't know what that is. They don't know what it is. They don't know what to make of it. That is rather cruel to do to kids. That is absolutely cruel. They don't know what to make of it. And this poor child is like, can I go home? Where's my mommy? Ugh. That's bad. Okay. Um, Naomi Biden is thankful for a lot today, including her wedding. So, as you know, as I mentioned yesterday, there was a wedding at the White House, and someone from the tabloid press wanted to make a big fuss about the fact that the president of the United States, who is allowed to use the White House any way he chooses because he's president, um, said, let's have a wedding. At least it wasn't Trump's brother's funeral at the White House. As though, but again, I guess you would have to have it at the White House because if they try to take one of them Trumps into a sacred place like a church, who knows what could happen? You see the holy water boiling over or something. So that probably would have been a bad idea. Mommy, a witch tried to steal my soul. Right after she drank my juice. Oh, Lord. Mommy, a witch tried to steal my soul. Oh, man. I love it. That is too funny. Thank you, Shelly L, for that. Mommy, a witch tried to steal my soul. A witch? Yes. Which one? And then, of course, the child points to the television. That one. That one. Ah! Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, Reba Henderson. That is true. Trump ran his campaign from the White House, and that is a conflict of interest. That does not happen. The president usually won't do anything like that from the White House out of respect for the people's house. And you are so right. That was like something that never happens, at least not so obvious as that. But yeah, it's true. They used the White House for campaign events. Oh, I almost forgot about that. But of course, such is the legacy of Trump. There was so many things going on at one time. Who could remember? Uh, Not my king, not my king, says the turkey. Even the turkeys are sick of Charles. Not my king. As you can see, monarchists think these royal state dinners are to be envied. It wasn't long ago King Charles put these African leaders on buses, allowing white Biden to ride presidential style. The president of Africa, of South Africa, is now being used for PR. Glad Harry and Meghan aren't part of this nonsense. Well, don't forget the president of France. The president of France. There were a lot of white leaders that were not on buses, but if you remember the photos, it was only black people on the buses, except for the woman from Ethiopia. She was having none of it. But yeah, it's true. It was blacks on the bus. You're not as important. And there's the president of South Africa riding on the bus. Um, yeah. As a show of solidarity, they should have at least put some of the royals on those same buses with those leaders, including, well, you could have put Mumbles on the bus. I mean, that would have been a show of solidarity, but no, they, did what they did, and the others rode on the bus. So yeah, that was very disrespectful to the leaders from Africa, and none of them protest except for one. Stolen jewels and the monarchy, colonial's past will always be a part. Be I'm sorry, be the elephant in the room until properly addressed. So Omid Scobie has a column that he wrote for Yahoo. So when you guys get a chance to see it, make sure you check it out. Again, Omid Scobie is talking about the elephant in the room, and that, of course, the jewels. The jewels, jewels, jewels. Let's see here. Um, oh man, I cannot find the article. Well, I wanted to sample from his article, but I don't see it. I don't see it. But yeah, so oh my goodness. All right. So anyway, that is from Omid Scobie. Until they talk about how come I cannot find his column? Oh, you know what? I'm not let me do that again. Let me do that again. Let me try that again. He doesn't have the right link to go to his column. That's what the problem is. And I was hoping to share that with you, but I don't see the link for it. Let me try again. Yes, I'm so sorry. I cannot find the link for his column now. And I had it earlier, and now I don't see it. Oh well. All right, so but just the same, you guys know to look for Omid's column on Yahoo. And of course, he has a column, I think it's once a week, right? I think his column comes out once a week. So don't forget to look for that. Alan Vernon, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, at least Trump didn't bury his brother at the White House for tax break. Yes, it could have been so much worse, Alan Vernon. I forgot about that. At least he didn't bury his brother at the White House, and that does come as relief because I wouldn't have been surprised if he didn't try to do it at least. And you guys know that Trump, I think he wrote an executive order so that he could change the rules about burials of non-veterans at Arlington National Cemetery. So in other words, Trump wants to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Now, usually non-veterans, president or not, non-veterans or their families are not buried at Arlington National Cemetery. But Trump, who had several deferments away from military service, insists that he should be buried there. So Joe Biden changed the livery back to the original colors for the Air Force One, and I hope that he was able to change the law or the rule or whatever executive order Trump may have signed. I hope he changed it back to exclude former presidents from being buried at Arlington National Cemetery if they have not served in the military. Yeah. Isn't that something? Trump, as much as he's trying, the only reason why he wants to be buried there is because he's afraid that people are going to take a crap on his grave. Connie Bomber, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And also to you, Alan Vernon, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Thanksgiving to you both. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so let me. Okay. Oh yeah, they were trying to put Biden on the bus, right? They were trying to put Biden on the bus, but it, Gwen Stevenson, not only was Biden not really going to go for that, but the Secret Service is very protective, and unless it was, it just wasn't going to happen. The president and the beast, the presidential limousine, the president's motorcade is not just a means of transportation, but it's a mobile command center. And the reason why Biden sat so far away from the front was for that reason, because wherever he was seated, I guarantee you there were several Secret Service agents that surrounded him through that service. There were probably several Secret Service agents that were standing during the Queen's funeral. So even though Trump tried to make this big stink about, oh, if it was me, I would have sat wherever I wanted to. No, you wouldn't. You would have sat where they told you to sit, and you would have sat wherever the Secret Service felt like you were safe. And that is just the way that is. They don't do things like that without arrangements in advance. So, um, matter of fact, I want to say that Joe Biden said it best himself. Um, Let me see. Where is that? Joe Biden. How would Joe Biden put it? I'm going to tell you. Here it is. Nobody F's with the Biden. That is what Joe Biden said. That is his way of putting it. Nobody F's with a Biden. That is like my favorite soundbite. Nobody F's with a Biden. Okay, so the Koh-i-Noor diamond, of course, that's from India. That's the one that they've stolen from a child. They stole it from a child and had him hand deliver the diamond to Queen Victoria, as if it wasn't as much an insult that they stole it, but they made the child hand deliver the diamond to Queen Victoria to make sure that everybody around would know that he was inferior to the Queen of England. So that was very disrespectful. Queen Elizabeth II owns the largest clear cut diamond in the world, known as the Great Star of Africa. The 530 carat gem was mined in South Africa back in 1905 and has an estimated worth of $400 million. Now, of course, that belongs to Charles today, but the front of the crown has the diamond just above the ermine fur. And of course, part of that diamond, which was cut, was embedded into the scepter. And then there are several other pieces which are referred to as the granny chips, because the queen often wears a two-part brooch. And there's also other pieces of that diamond that are used in the crown jewel collection. And so the royal family at the time of Henry VIII, they actually had to rent diamonds, jewels, that is. They had to rent jewels to go into the crown jewels. The royal family, from the time of Henry VIII till today, has this vast collection of jewels. And I'm going to tell you why. They, the royal family, wasn't that rich back in those days. But it wasn't Henry VIII that made, slavery a thing for England. It was Queen Elizabeth I. And notice that they refer to that time in their history as the Golden Age. Queen Elizabeth I was the one who started the whole thing with England and slavery. And since that time, slavery has paid off big time for the Windsors, or at the time, the Tudors and the Hanovers and the Stuarts, and all of those dynasties have gotten over big time because of the slave trade. And that, of course, includes the crown jewels, which whatever they have was either gifted or was stolen because of that period of their history. So there you go. South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Australia, Fiji, Barbados, Egypt, India, just to name a few. They went from renting jewels from other wealthy families. They used to rent jewels because that was the only way to put jewels in the crown, to actually owning one of the largest collections, if not the largest. I don't think there's museums that have as many jewels as the royal family. Calls are growing in South Africa for Britain's royal family to return the world's largest known clear cut diamond in the wake of Queen Elizabeth's death. Royal gift or stolen gems call for UK to return 500 carat Great Star. Calls are growing in South Africa for Britain's royal family to return the world's largest known clear cut diamond in the wake of Queen Elizabeth's death. So that is the conversation that had gone around the world after the Queen died. Now, I did mention Australia. This is a First Nation woman. I don't think they like the name Aboriginal anymore. I think they go by the name First Nation. Um, when she was elected to the parliament, she was told that she had to read the speech pledging allegiance to the queen, pledging to serve the crown. And at first, she refused to do it. She, instead of saying Her Majesty the Queen, she said the colonizers. And so there were like gasps and moaning throughout the parliament. But eventually, in order to take her seat, she had to read it the way it was written. And so she did, with her fist in the air, full of defiance. She did as she was told. Australia head of state King Charles per one British royal. I love this. I don't know who made this, but it is too funny. Amount, percentage, daily value, ingredient list. Elected by the people, 0 grams. Chosen by skill, 0 grams. Chosen by merit, 0. Australian, nope. Accountable to Australians, nope. British, 100%. Given the job based on his birthright, 100%. So, yeah, that is the list of ingredients that would make Charles the head of state in a lot of places. And quiet as it's kept, that German that is sitting on the British throne today probably that German king of England today, the list would still look like this even for the English. So, yeah, not much difference. Now, this was too funny. So Herschel Walker is wedged between Ted Cruz and, oh, I declare, bless your bones, that Belle of the South, Lindsey Graham. Well, anyway, Herschel Walker said something about the election, and then further down the little statement, he said, and that's why this erection is so important. Instead of saying election, he called it an erection. No wonder he keep getting in trouble with these women. Um, that's why this erection is so important. And yes, if you notice, there seemed to be a striking resemblance with what is it, Waldo and Mortimer Duke of the Duke brothers. Remember that from the movie Trading Places, where Eddie Murphy played the character Billy Ray Valentine, Capricorn. That is what it reminds you of, is the way that they have him kind of forced into the center of the camera, because he's running for that erection. He's running for an erection, you guys. So unless you're using the appropriate birth control, do not vote for him. Otherwise, you're going to get pregnant and he's not going to help you make a decision. So, again, Herschel Walker, flanked by Ted Cruz and that Belle of the South, Lindsey Graham, bless your bones, is running for the erection. So. Oh, it gets better, doesn't it? Wait, this to this. Don't you love it? Billy Ray Valentine. Don't you love it? Yes, that's right. He's running for erection. Um Oh man. Oh well, let's see. Where's the rest of my Thanksgiving? Not my king. Happy Thanksgiving. Get stuffed. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys, did you guys know that there was a royal turkey? Now, if there was a royal turkey, I think this would fit the bill right here. That's a turkey if I've ever seen one. If there was ever a royal turkey, I would have to say that we're looking at it right now. As a matter of fact, take a look there. The Royal Palm is a breed of domestic turkey. It is not primarily selected for meat production and is usually kept as an ornamental bird with a unique appearance, largely white with with bands of metallic black. The Royal Palm turkey first appeared in the 1920s on a farm in Lake Worth, Florida, apparently as a cross between black and bronze Narragansett and native turkeys. Years of selective breeding followed to stabilize the color. The Royal Palm was finally accepted by the American Poultry Association standard of perfection in 1971. In Europe, a turkey with a similar coloration in Europe, a turkey with a similar coloration uh, excuse me, called the Crowwilzer Peed or black laced white, whatever. Most heritage turkey breeds decline after the adoption of the white, broad-breasted white. Uh, by the turkey industry, the Royal Palm is an endangered breed and is classified as watched by the American Livestock Breed Conservatory. It is also included in Slow Food USA, Ark of Taste, a catalog of heritage foods in danger of extinction. The Australian and United States both report the breed as endangered to the Food and Agricultural Organization in the United Nations. So there you have it. There is the Royal Palm turkey. And again, it has bands of silver and black, but mostly is white, and it has weird breast meat and stuff. And it's not really edible, but it's a breed which is slowly going. It's a breed that is slowly going extinct. So, again, the Royal Palm turkey. When I saw that, I was just like, "Hey, I've seen that turkey before." Um, And this story, I hope they met today. So far, I haven't seen any photos, but if you recall, there was a misunderstanding with a text message, and the lady wearing the glasses there, she received a message. Actually, she sent a message. She thought it was going to her kids, but it was actually going to this young man who, over time, had a family, started a family of his own. There's his wife. He has a business where he wraps vehicles and commercial vehicles with those, those wraps to change the color or to add advertisements or whatever. Well, unfortunately, the guy with the baseball cap, her husband, passed away, but still they set a place for him at the Thanksgiving table. But it's like one of my favorite feel good stories, and it just goes to show that humanity does have hope if people from very different worlds can come together for Thanksgiving, all because of a misunderstanding. Anything is possible. Happy Thanksgiving from our Duchess of Sussex. I'll just say that for her. It's implied. And as you can see, there is our Duchess in the past roasting that turkey on the grill. And happy Thanksgiving from the Peanuts gang. And of course, as always, happy Thanksgiving from Royal Sussex. All right, you guys, that's it. That's it. I am done. If you have any last comments, please share them. I would like to hear what you have to say. Let me go back to the the very first slide. There we go. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Well, thank you, Lydia. I've enjoyed myself today. What a great, and we finished in time for you guys to go and have dinner. I'm going to eat something myself now. It is a great day to be with family and friends and loved ones. Let me see. Let me see. I saw a photo with them saying Thanksgiving was on this year. Really? Do they have one for this year? I would like to see that if that is the case, but I haven't seen one from the Sussexes. Let me slide through the Twitter and see what I can find. But yeah, that would be really cool if there was one. But so far, all I see is Camilla sticking that little bony hand out to the to that poor child. That's the only thing I see. Uh, yep, I don't see any photos of the Sussexes. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got to save this one. Okay. Somebody just posted a photo of Angela Levin looking withered on the vine. All right, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Go enjoy your families, and I will see you all tomorrow. Black Friday. Oh, I have an update for you guys too. About the air cooker. My sister, I had a conversation with her about it. My sister has an air cooker and she doesn't like it. She said she don't like the way the food tastes. So I'm not going to buy one. I'm just going to wait for her to give me hers. She said, had she known, I could have taken it last time. But as you know, I was on the fence about it because I just I'm terrified of how much space that thing takes on the counter. But I also hate to waste stuff. So what I'm going to do is just wait and get the air fryer from my sister, and I will fry up some stuff and take some pictures and let you know what I think about it. Too bad they don't have an air fryer big enough for a turkey. I guess you could put well, I don't have one big enough for a turkey. But yes, so that is the update for the air fryer. I'm going to wait until I can take the one my sister has because she has no use for it. And I am so frugal, I'd rather not buy one if I can just get one like that. So that is my plans for the air cooker since everybody has me so intrigued about it. Legs has a last super chat. Who did the seating arrangements for the state dinner? Baldy and Kate were not close. I would have wanted to be close to see the seasoning. I'm sorry. I would have wanted to be. I'm sorry. I would have. Okay. I would have wanted to be close to the seasoning. Got it. Sorry about that, Lex. Um. Yes, exactly, Veronica. Quick, I did correct myself about that. It was the lady that had the misunderstanding, and he accepted, and he showed up, and they've been friends ever since. Okay, looks like Lydia has the last word. Family, thanks for joining and enjoying the rest of the day. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a blessed day. Lovely last words to share, Lydia. Thank you so much. And thank you, all of the Mod Squad, for keeping this a safe space. And I, of course, am going to give thanks to, it would be so wonderful if Princess Diana could have moved to the US and enjoyed Thanksgiving like the rest of the Americans, but happy heavenly Thanksgiving to Princess Diana, and happy Thanksgiving to Mama Doria, to the Sussexes, and to the family. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, you guys. It is time to ginge avenge our way out of here, and I will see you all tomorrow for show. This is my favorite time of year to watch that movie, Trading Places. I love to watch that at Christmas time. So at some point this month, I am going to watch Trading Places. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. So good. All right. And cue Ginger Avenger.